What do you make of the renationalisation promises that Keir Starmer's made today?
I was pleased to hear them. So I've been saying, public control of life's essentials and public ownership is critical if you're going to get the bills down and stop people being ripped off, because people are being ripped off. We've put a fare cap on buses in Greater Manchester because we are taking public control, and we now need to apply that principle to energy, to water. We need to take back what is ours, don't we? And roll back the 1980s.
Do you think Keir Starmer's drifting to the left?
Well, I think it's clear to me that he'd heard the call from Enough is Enough and others to say, look, you can't face a cost of living crisis with just privatised services that can do what they like. The windfall tax, he's made the argument there and made it very powerfully again today. So, no, I think absolutely this is the Labour Party, I think, speaking a stronger game, if you like, around public ownership, public control than we've done for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, obviously there's Jeremy's period, but I think, it shows that there is a continuation, if you like, of some of what was being spoken about then.
Do you think this is basically a Corbynist manifesto rebranded as a Starmerite one?
I think that might be. I'm not sure that people would see it quite that way, but I just think it's a recognition that in a cost of living crisis, the old mantra that the market will solve everything is really not where we are. And if we're honest, that was repeated too much in the Blair years, and we didn't do enough on that, and it's left us exposed in a cost of living crisis. So I think the political weather has changed. People have made that argument. I've done my bit to make the argument for public control and public ownership. The Labour Party now seems to be comfortable. The leader is comfortable talking in those terms to the country. I think the country will back him, because when he sees the response to that, I think it will hopefully encourage him and the party to go further.
Starmer could be doing more to show support for workers, striking workers in particular?
Well, I've been saying this week that I think it's a very serious position that a lot of our nurses, firefighters, other frontline workers face at the moment. They are going into a really difficult winter where their heads are not above water, and I think that's why I said myself that we should prioritise pay rises for those key workers that we clapped a couple of years ago, rather than a tax giveaway that in the end puts money in the pockets of the highest paid. Tax cuts will not get the money where it's needed most to face a loss of.
Should Labour politicians put their money where their mouth is and stand with workers on picket lines?
I can't see any alternative than a 1-year pay settlement to sort out a cost of living crisis, and I personally don't see. I am showing my support on picket lines. I've been down to a Royal Mail picket line. I was supporting cleansing workers up in Glasgow a couple of weeks ago. It's about fighting for your income when your family can't afford to eat. I think Labour today has said we are on the side of ordinary working people in a cost of living crisis, and that's where we be. But I'm not frightened of showing it.